Diamond Pier Foundation System with pin pile technology. Now available for the most demanding residential deck applications. The Diamond Pier Foundation System is fully tested and structurally rated. For over 18 years, the U.S. Department of Interior has chosen Diamond Pier as their foundation system for some of their most demanding projects. Ralph Schmidt is a Diamond Pier sales representative from Minnesota, an experienced builder who is here to provide training and instruction for the proper installation of the Diamond Pier system.
Today we're going to install the DP50. These are the parts that are going to come with the DP50. We have 50-inch pins for the Diamond Pier concrete head. Also on top there's going to be a packet with the installation instructions, inspection plugs for the pins, and also caps for the pins. To install the Diamond Pier foundation system, we only need a few simple tools. First of all, you always want to be sure you have your safety glasses, a proper pair of gloves. We're going to use a square garden spade to mark out the pier and dig it into place. Also a sledgehammer to start the pins. Pipe wrench, what we're going to use that for is to show you how to remove the pin when necessary. And then a driving bit, which fits a standard jackhammer. It's a 1 1/8 inch tip on the end. Once we get to putting the pier in, then we'll need a level the pier. In preparing this system for installation, the first thing to do is find the inspection plugs that are in the package on top of the pier and place them in each and every pin that you find. Take the plug, set it inside the pin, and then we'll just tap it in securely. Once we have all the inspection plugs in place in the pier, next we're going to want to move the pier into position. A little trick of the trade, the easy way to move the pier around without bending over and picking it up, is to take 2 of the pins that are here, and we're just going to put them into the specified hole, pick the pier up, and easily move it in position. Before setting the pier, we want to check that the underground utilities have been located. The next step in the process of using a Diamond Pier foundation system is to be sure you have the proper layout of where you want the pier placement. There are several different methods to do that. Today we're just going to take a measurement from the house, mark our center, set the pier in place, and then level it. Now we're ready to place it in the ground. That's where we use our garden spade with a square edge. We're going to cut in around the pier and set it in approximately 6 inches down to this level. Let's start by cutting it in. We're going to mark it out at this point. We're going to mark around the pier. Now that we've marked all the way around the pier, we're going to move the pier out of the way. Put it in the wheelbarrow so we keep the site nice and clean. Make a nice sized hole. So now the pier will set in nice and tight around the edges, and we have a little loose soil right in the bottom. And that's okay. Now that we have our plug of soil removed, we're ready to put the Diamond Pier in place. We're going to want to set it in the hole and put all 4 pins in. Once we have it at this point, we want to re-level. Check our location. With it set in the ground with all 4 pins extended out, it shows you a mirror image of what this will look like under the ground. So you'll have this pin ending under the ground from this point down 4 inches over. So if you have any tree roots or any other obstructions to work around, you know exactly where your pins will end up. Now that we have the pier in place in the ground, we're going to want to re-level it and set each pin. We're going to use a sledgehammer for that. We're going to set each pin approximately 6 inches in, back and forth, and then go opposites back and forth until it's locked into the ground level. The purpose for this is to be sure it's locked level before we start with the automatic hammer. With the level this direction, we want to start with this pin on this side. Then we want to switch the level so it's parallel with the opposite pins here. Now that we feel we have it in place where it's locked, we can start with the jackhammer. This is a driving bit we use to drive in the pins for the DP50. It can also be used on the DP75 and the DP100. It has a 1 1/8 inch hex. It can be put into any standard size jackhammer. What I have here today is a Makita. It's about a 35-pound jackhammer. Now that we have the jackhammer ready, we can now install the pins completely. What we want to do is put each pin approximately halfway in and then go to the opposite pin and then do the pins that are opposite the other way. This will allow the pier to stay locked in and balanced. Meanwhile, we want to keep the level on the pier in case we see any movement showing that it's hitting some type of obstruction. So let's get started. Once we get to this point where all the pins are halfway in and everything looks good, we want to continue to drive the pin down to 6 inches. The reason we drive them all to about 6 inches out all the way around gives us the opportunity to easily remove the pin in case we hit any obstruction. Looks like here we've possibly hit an obstruction. The pin had stopped moving. So what we want to do is be sure all the other pins are at least halfway into the ground. That way we know the pier is stable and we can put our jackhammer back on this pin and drive it for about 20 seconds. What we're hoping in this process is that any small obstruction or rock will roll as we put pressure on it. It appears we could have hit an obstruction here, and if we can't get it any further in, then we're going to remove the pin. We'll go through the pin removal process right now. The diamond pier is removable. There are a couple of simple methods we can use, and both involve using a pipe wrench. One is to hook the pipe wrench on the end of the pipe, turn it, and pull the pipe out of the ground. A second method that's a little faster once we have the pin at least 6 inches out, we can use what we call a jacking method. All it involves is taking another pin or some type of lever. We're going to lay it flat against the side of the pier, perpendicular to the pin that we want to remove. We're going to take the pipe wrench, put it on the pipe, and we're going to angle it up this direction. Because once we pry the pin out, it's going to turn the pipe wrench. What we don't want to do is start out from here. So once again, start with the pipe flat, pipe wrench out of this position, pull the handle up to lock it, pull the bar up, drop it back down, lock it, pull, lock, pull. You can easily pull the pin out of the ground once it's loose. Another technique for removing the pin is what we call a reverse jacking method. Instead of our standard jacking method, which is this way, lift up and lock and pull, on a really very difficult pin, we can use a reverse jack. What we want to do is take a piece of scrap wood, set it on the pier to protect the pier. This time, instead of pulling up on the pry bar, we're going to be pushing down. And instead of being on top, we're going to be underneath with the pipe wrench. We're going to lock it up again, and then push down and pull, turn the pipe wrench at the same time. And repeat. Then you can go back to your standard jacking method. Once it's loose, now that we have each pin down to within 6 inches, and we're through all the obstructions. Now we can continue the drive down until they're about 3/4 of an inch out from the pier head. The driving bit is designed so right before it gets to the pier, it's approximately 3/4 of an inch.
Once the pins are set all the way down, tap on the plastic caps.
Hi, Ralph Schmidt at Diamond Pier. Talking here today with Sue. We're up here in northern Wisconsin. We just put in how many piers in how many minutes?
10 piers in only 42 minutes.
Awesome.
Awesome.